All right. Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, Instagram. We're trying something new today. We are broadcasting our Good Morning Intuition morning psychic practice, both on YouTube and on Instagram. So welcome if you're on YouTube, and of course, welcome if you're on Instagram. So Daily Intuition, for those I'm catching up here. Good morning, Leanne. Good morning, Christine. Hi, guys. Oh, good. Leanne, you can comment now. That's good. Hi, Gigi. Good morning. So again, Good Morning Intuition is a time and space for you to join me in my spiritual and psychic practice that I usually do. Truth be told, I used to do most of my psychic work at night because I was a little bit more of a night owl than a morning person. But Spirit guided me to do this in the morning and to do it with you. Good morning, Carol. Good morning, AF Pulley. Good morning. So basically, we are going through each morning our practice and opening up our intuition, setting ourselves up to have the right focus for the day, having our right intuition leading our attention. It's like playing I Spy. Once you get really intuitively dialed in, everywhere you look, everywhere you see, everything you do, you're connected and can receive guidance and receive a message. Hi, Nicole. Good morning on Instagram. So yeah, I am doing my psychic and spiritual practice with you in the morning on Good Morning Intuition. This is episode 28 on YouTube, and on Instagram, this is numero uno on Instagram. So welcome to the practice. I'm going to start us off by doing a quick clearing. I'm going to smudge us. And so if you have any questions today, I will be paying attention to the chat. If you have questions on Instagram, if this is new to you and you're wondering what the heck we're doing, we are practicing our psychic abilities in the morning, opening ourselves up for a whole day of guidance. So take a deep breath with me, loves. Very good. Taking that deep breath, blowing it out. Breathing in the energy of the day, the newness, the opportunity, the vitality of a new chance. And breathing out anything old, sluggish, anything you don't need, anything you want to release to make room for the new. Breathing in and breathing out with that intention. Very, very, very good. Okay, I'm going to put our smudgy next to our Instagram friends. All right, everybody. Let's pray to start the day. God, spirit guides, guardian angels, ancestors, loved ones with us in spirit. We ask you to bless our day, bless our life. We ask you to bless our loved ones, our children, our family. We ask that you help us be so connected to your guidance and support that our intuitive senses come alive when we need you. We ask that we clearly see, hear, feel, and know all of the direction you would give us. That every moment we make a decision and every opportunity we have to understand more fully the world around us or what our impact is on others, we ask that you speak directly to us and that we would hear you loud and clear. Again, we ask you to bless our day, that as we go along today, we take moments where we stop and reflect on what your guidance is. And we know that by following that guidance, we're receiving the highest good to the harm of none. And we ask that for our loved ones, that they may also be guided and supported and intuitively led, that whether they think about it or not, they are always safe and protected. And we are so grateful for this practice where we can attune and further hone our ability to hear you, Spirit. And I say amen, and so it is. Okay, good. All right, so for those of you on Instagram new to this practice, Our good morning intuition definitely requires a notebook of some kind or a scrap piece of paper. We do a lot of writing. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a gratitude list. The gratitude list is themed every day. So we run through the gamut of all sorts of different kinds of inventories that we can take on items that we're grateful for. And then we have 5 1-minute claircognizant hits, right, YouTube? 1-minute claircognizant hits, which means that we're working with our clear knowing. And so I ask a question, we ask it of spirit, and the immediate answer that we get, our immediate download, that's exactly what we write down. And we use our sharp psychic sense of knowing there. And then we have an activity of some sort. I have a meditation for us today to hear, see, feel, and know, a guide. And then we pull a card for the day. So our gratitude list today, everybody, I thought it would be fun to do a gratitude list based on things that we've started. Sometimes we only take inventory and are grateful for things that we finish. But even the chance of starting something new, whether we finish it or not, it can take bravery and it can take dedication. Even if we're not finished or even if we didn't see it through, there's so much that goes into just taking the first step. And so I want us to take inventory today of the things we took the first step on, the things we took the first step on, the things we started. And let's not put pressure on it to be the things that have to be what we kept with or that we finished or that we successfully completed. Just be grateful for the fact that you know how to take a first step. So our gratitude list today is things that you've started. Okay, so we have a couple minutes on the clock. Here we go. Welcome. If you're just joining us, we're doing a gratitude list to list out the things we're grateful for that we simply just started, the first steps we've taken, the things we've simply just started. It's funny to tune into the energy of certain things without the energy of how they turned out, bringing down, like, for example, I have a habit tracker on my phone and I was doing really good tracking my habits. And then now when I think about it, I sort of feel a little guilty. But when I do this gratitude list, and I'm grateful that I started, I got to release all the guilt for not following through and just sit in the happiness that it existed and that I implemented it for a while. So this is the kind of thing our gratitude list can do for us. So take a few more moments, wrap up your gratitude list for this morning, things that you've started. And then we're going to get ready to jump into our 1 minute claircognizant hits. Oh, Christine, I'm glad you're here with us live too. That's great. And good morning, Michelle. I see you're here too. Hi. And good morning if you're just joining on Instagram. Okay. So 5 1 minute claircognizant hits. So the way this is going to work is I'm going to ask the question. You're going to write the first thing that comes to mind with the intention to be channeling the message from Spirit. Okay. So here we go. Question number 1 is, Spirit, how can I be the calm in the storm? Question number 1 is, Spirit, how can I be the calm in the storm? So think about whatever part of your life that seems to bring up for you, and ask Spirit how you can be the calm in the storm within that scenario. Okay. All right, here we go. 1 minute on the clock. Let's begin. Okay, take just another moment here and finish up question number 1. Okay. Get ready now for question number 2. Hi, Mo. Welcome. Okay, so question number 2 is, Spirit, do I feel, honestly, do I feel like I deserve love? And I want to context this. This is not just romantic love. I want you to think about love from strangers, love from family members, love from your children, love from your spouses, love from your community, love from God or Spirit. I want you to think about where love exists in your life without limitation to just like a relationship, okay? And I want you to ask Spirit, how am I doing with this? Do I feel, how's my heart? Do I feel I deserve love? And have Spirit tell you about that, okay? Question number 2, Spirit, do I feel I deserve love? 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Okay, so finishing up question number 2. Okay. Let's move on to claircognizant hit number 3. Number 3. So number 2 was spirit, do I feel I deserve love and why? To really start digging into whether we feel that deservability. Number 3 is spirit, am I welcoming love and how? Spirit, am I welcoming love and how? Again, this is not just romantic love. This is love that you can be welcoming. Hi Jen on Instagram. This is a question about whether you are welcoming love, yes, by your partners and your loved ones, but your family, the person in front of you in line at Starbucks, if someone is friendly with you on a train, are you welcoming of their love? Love is in so many different ways and so many different increments available in our day. So our last question was, do I feel I deserve love and why? This question is, am I welcoming love and how? Am I welcoming love and how? So question number 3, 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Again, if you're joining us from Instagram and you're new to Good Morning Intuition, we're doing 5 1-minute claircognizant hits. We ask Spirit a question and we brain dump and write down everything that comes to mind with our claircognizant inner knowing. And so right now we're answering question number 3, Spirit, am I welcoming love? Am I welcoming it and how? And we've got a few minutes on the clock here, 1 minute to be precise, and then we'll wrap up. So go ahead and start your journal now. Good morning if you're joining us on Instagram. You are getting behind the scenes of my YouTube show, Good Morning Intuition, which is also going live right now. Hi, everyone on YouTube. If you're just joining in, Instagram is with us today. So Good Morning Intuition is a time where I share my psychic spiritual practice, and you guys get to work out your intuitive mindset and intuitive hits with me in the morning so that you're sharp for the day. We're just finishing up our claircognizant 1-minute hit, and that's question number 3. Question number 4, everybody. Let's move on to question number 4. Question number 4 is, Spirit, am I receiving divine communication? Question number 4 to ask Spirit today, with 1 minute on the clock here in just a moment, is Spirit, am I receiving divine communication? And the follow-up question is when? When? So if there's any particular times that you want to ask about, am I, or when I do this certain thing, am I truly channeling divine communication? Think about that when you ask the question when. Otherwise, the question is, Spirit, am I receiving divine communication? And that is question number 4. Let's put 1 minute on the clock and let's channel and download a hit here and put it into our journal. Here we go. Okay, take just another few moments and wrap up question number 4. Okay. Question number 5 on our 1 minute claircognizant hits this morning. Question number 5 is, Spirit, what parts of me have unlimited potential? Question number 5 is, Spirit, what parts of me have unlimited potential? So I'm sure there are many parts of you that have unlimited potential, but in particular, you might be drawn by Spirit to notice a few areas that maybe are really standout areas. Okay, so question number 5 is, Spirit, what parts of me have unlimited potential? Let's put 1 minute on the clock and let's get our claircognizant hit. Here we go. That's a cool question. Welcome. If you're just joining us on Instagram, you are watching Good Morning Intuition, my live YouTube show going on over here on YouTube. We're at episode 28 on YouTube, and I thought I'd bring it live to Instagram too. What we're doing is you're you're joining me in my psychic practice. I am an international psychic and mentor for psychic readers. This is my lifestyle, and so every day we wake up, we have a spiritual and psychic practice. We turn on our intuition. This is not me giving you readings. I might stay on after to do a little bit of that, but just to celebrate the fact that we're on two platforms today. But this is really about you exercising your own intuition so it changes your heart and mind throughout your day. And we just finished our number 5 1-minute clear cognizant hit. Very good. Okay, so now we're going to move into our sort of activity for the day. I would like us to do a meditation today that really hits and touches on the hearing, seeing, feeling, and knowing that we have access to in our intuition. And so I thought it would be fun to do just a good old meet a guide. And we're going to see them, we're going to have them give us a gift. We're going to take their hand, we're going to hear them whispering in our ear, and then we're going to receive a knowing from them. So this is just a standard practice where any guide that you're working with can come in. That can be angel guides, that can be ascended masters, that can be loved ones that have passed that are in spirit. It can be any other like expert kind of guide, sort of lower than the idea of ascended master, but just a regular old guide that is still very, very powerful in your space. So let's jump into that. I'm going to ask you and invite you to find a comfy position. We are going to get in a little bit more of a meditative state for about 6 or 7 minutes. Okay. So find yourself somewhere comfy. And let's just take a moment of silence to drop into the space. And in just a moment here, I'd like you to join me in 3 deep breaths. And after the 3rd deep breath, I want you to transport yourself and imagine yourself in a place of pure white light surrounding you in every direction as far as the eye can see. You might think of this as like a heavenly place, or just a place where the energy is so pure and so bright that it just feels like bright white light all around you. And we're just going to go into that space within our imagination, and that's where we're going to start our intuitive journey today. So join me there. Let's take 3 breaths first. Let's breathe in. Breathe out. Another breath, breathe in. Breathe out. Last breath in. Breathe out. All right, let's go inward to our imagination. And that is actually the key that unlocks our intuition and our ability to psychically travel. So I want you to imagine that you are in a place surrounded by bright, beautiful white light as far as you can see. It's just a big, beautiful space of bright white light. And sometimes you can also experience, a lot of my clients and students and friends also experience like a mist or a haze. Sometimes that mist or haze has like reflections of rainbows, or even feels like a little bit fresh and wet. So you might also imagine that there's some consistency in the air that shows you even more of the space's power. So you can imagine that now. And we're going to call in a guide that's going to be with you today, a guide that is currently on your spirit team, assigned to you in the present. It could be something you're working on in particular. It could be someone who's been with you for a long time. It could be an angel that you called in. Either way, you don't have to decide because they're going to kind of show themselves here in a moment. But if you'd like to hear from someone in particular, you can request that. Otherwise, just see who walks forward. And in 3 seconds, we're going to start to see a figure in the white light approaching you with a beautiful bright aura. And you might not see who they are right away. That's okay, because they're going to come close to you, stand next to you, and we're actually going to look at their feet first. So don't worry about getting the whole vibe of who it is. But just sense that in 3 seconds here, we're going to call in our guide and they're going to start to approach us until they stand in front of us. Let's call in our guide. Use your heart. Ask Spirit for the right guide today. And imagine your guide coming out of the mist and coming towards you in 3, 2, 1. The bright light white space opens up. Your heavenly, gorgeous, shining, glowing personal spirit guide is starting to come towards you. And just as they do, they take a quick stop just in front of you. And I'd like you to first turn your attention downwards. We're going to get a good look at your guide, but we're going to do it piece by piece. So the first thing I want you to do is take a moment to observe their feet or their shoes or the ground that they have underneath them. If it's a spirit guide that's an animal, of course you might not have a standard foot or shoe, but take a look down at that area and just see what you see. If you're having a hard time deciding, just go with the one that feels the strongest in the impression. You might feel some people maybe going back and forth like, am I doing this right? Don't worry, it's just your imagination. It's not any harder than that. That's the key that unlocks what's in your intuition. So don't worry about being right or wrong. Just go ahead and see what you see. Bring your attention up now to the knees. Starting to notice what kind of clothes your guide is wearing, perhaps. The color, the texture, the indication of maybe culture or time frame. And then drawing your attention up to the hips. Is there something like a belt being worn? Is there something there? Drawing your attention up to the chest and the shoulders. If it's an angel, you may get the sense of the wings now. If it's Archangel Michael, you may have already saw a sword. If it is a guide of a certain time, you may see the period piece in the clothing. If it's someone from a more modern time, you definitely would notice that in their clothing. Take a look down at their arms and their hands just to get another look at their build. Maybe there's something also there to give you an indication of who or the time frame. And then I want you to turn your attention not to the face yet. We're going to skip the face. We're going to do that last. I want you to turn your attention first to the top of their head. To the top of their head, look at their hair, any hats, anything that makes the top of their head. And finally, taking a look at your spirit guide's face. I want you to notice the expression on their face and what that tells you. I want them to communicate a message by just showing you an expression on their face. So receive that message in 3, 2, 1. Good. Now I'd like your guide to put their hands behind their back and pull forward to you a gift of some sort. The gift is going to represent a metaphorical or actual gift that they want to give to you for your day today to help you through your day, maybe even your week. And the gift is going to mean something. So let them, if they haven't already, show you their gift. It can fit in their hand, or it can be something they point to that's a big thing like a house. That's fine too. But they're going to give you this gift in 3, 2, 1. Immediately ask your intuition to connect with them on why you're getting this gift, what it means, how it helps. Receive that in 3, 2, 1. Receive it. Now they've given you something to see and something to hear. I want them now to give you something they can share with you that you can feel, And so the next thing I'm going to have you do is connect with your guide on physical touch. So this could be, if it's an angel, you may feel they wrap their wings around you. If it's a loved one, you may feel that they embrace you. If it's a spirit guide that you don't know very well, they may hold out their hands in front of them for you to either touch or feel, or put your hands near theirs. But in just a moment here, I'd like you to experience feeling your guide, feeling their love, feeling their support, feeling what they have for you. So whether it's an embrace, a touch, or putting your energy in close proximity so that you can feel your guide, do so now in 3, 2, 1. Just feel. Just feel. Just feel. Often feeling has a message of its own. So if you receive something, add that to the dynamic of your message. And finally, your spirit guide would like to give you a sense of knowing on something you've been struggling with, something that you have yet to have made clear in your heart or in your mind. They want to give you a knowing, an instant download, if you will, pertaining to the circumstance that has caused you some confusion lately. And so in just a moment, I'm going to ask that they extend out their finger and that they touch the center of your forehead, immediately transferring the message and the answers you seek. Okay, here we go. Your guide is going to give you your instant download, and we'll sit with it for a minute, okay? But you'll receive that in 3, 2, 1. Notice your thoughts. Notice what comes up. Use your imagination. Sometimes it can help to know a claircognizant message by asking, what do I know for sure? Your guide, no doubt, is very happy to have connected with you in this way today. Go ahead and affirm that you are grateful for their presence in your life, however you'd like to do that. And send them a loving goodbye to this part of the conversation, although they'll be around you all day today. I always like to give my guide a high five at the end. I don't know why. It's just what I do. So you can embrace or say goodbye somehow. They're going to step into the background and guide and support you today. And when you are ready, you are going to open up your eyes. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. What messages did you guys get? It's time to take a moment to grab your notebook, grab your pen, and write down anything you'd like about your spirit guide conversation today. Okay, so go ahead and grab your pen, grab your paper before we move on while it's fresh. I want you to write down your notes from your meditation today. So we'll spend a few minutes on that. Here we go. Hey, Lisa. Who else do we have? Moni, hi. Hi, Alex. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so while you guys are writing your notes, let me remind Instagram. We're going through a lot of the Instagram motions today because this is our first Instagram. So if you are on Instagram, welcome, welcome. I'm glad you're here. I have a YouTube show called Good Morning Intuition. We're actually on episode 28 on YouTube, but I thought I'd go ahead and double dip here and get Instagram in on the action. So Good Morning Intuition is dedicated to sharing my spiritual and psychic practice. So basically, y'all on YouTube know that we've been practicing Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific, and we do about 30-45 minutes, and sometimes 45 to an hour. But what we do is we exercise our intuition every morning. I prepare the prompts, you bring a pen and paper, and what we do is we dive into turning on and attuning our intuition so that throughout the day it's nice and sharp. So, and as many of you on YouTube know and have been telling me, that doing this practice regularly has changed the way you're showing up in the world. And that is just a byproduct of focus. Where focus goes, energy flows. So when you focus on receiving guidance, that is why you get it. So I'm glad you guys are here. I'm glad you're all here. Happy for everyone. Okay. So the last thing we'll do is just pull a card for the day. So I have my Future Predictions Oracle deck. This is a deck that I created that I love so much. And of course, it's one of my favorite decks to use because I do love a good timeline prediction. There are cards in this deck that are messages, and then there are cards in this deck that are time frames. Okay, 2 cards popped out today. Get grounded and take action. Get grounded and take action. Hey, friend. Hi. Okay, so we are getting grounded and taking action. That's our card for today. And again, this is not me reading you. This is you reading you. So let me just prompt you a little bit, and then you can take down some messages here. So the first question is, Spirit, when I look at this Get Grounded card, what do I immediately know you're talking about? Okay, that's what's coming up for me today. So when you see the Get Grounded card, what is immediately coming up for me on the Get Grounded? I want you to take a moment to ask what's really coming through there. The next one is Take Action. So it's probably requiring that before you do take some action, you get a little bit more grounded. I really resonate with this today because there's a lot of messy action and messy first. I don't know, it's messy action. Like that, there's something to be said for just being willing to have massive messy action, right? Before you like have everything figured out. So there is that, but then there's also the need to circle back and say, is messy action just lazy when really you could dig deep and find a more grounded approach, which would not, this is not to guilt you, but it's to serve you on a higher level. So where can we get grounded before we take some action and take responsibility for potentially all of the grace and the wisdom that is just below the surface of us digging a little deeper. Okay, so that's what's coming up for me. Take a moment in your journal to write down whatever that brings up. I did get a hit, so I'm going to write down some stuff too real quick. And let's just take a moment to jot that down. And then, surprise, surprise, I'm going to stay on for a few extra minutes on YouTube and on Instagram today. And I'm going to be answering some quick questions. So if you have a question for me, like psychic reading wise, I'm going to be doing some very quick hits. And so in just a moment, when I tell you to, you can put some questions in the chats as well. Okay, because we're staying on a few extra minutes today. But I'm going to write down my card notes. Again, get grounded, take action. All right. I'm so glad you're here, Tana. Hi. Hi. Okay. All right. So that's our card of the day. Cool. So that concludes our Good Morning Intuition practice. I'm so glad you were here, Instagram and YouTube. And let me see. Well, I don't really have many cards with me today, so we might have to go cold reading psychic today because all my cards are over in the corner and I'm cozy in my blanket and I don't want to move because the phone might fall. So anyways, okay, well, thank you for practicing for me today. It's been an excellent practice. I'm going to do some more smudgy. And I'm actually going to open it up for questions. If you have a question and you'd like a quick hit from me, go ahead and put your question in. And I will see how many people I can serve here. Okay, Lizzie. Lizzie says, yesterday my first boyfriend woke me up by my nickname, looked him up and can feel his contrast, oh God, my eyes are so bad. Okay, hold on. Feeling his persistence. Found his obituary 1-year anniversary today. Asking for messages. What's his first name, Lizzie? Can you give me his first name? I'm not the most skilled medium, I know. I'm much better at timelines and stuff, but let me see if I can get a message. Okay, hold on a sec. Let's see what we get. So he's passed. Wow, okay. So I'm getting a real serious hit that, so as I understand, Spirit has always told me that, there's a strong feeling here. Okay. Spirit has always told me, hold on, strong feeling. Give me a second. I got to articulate something. Okay. Spirit has always told me that when people pass, there is a system of like life review on the other side. It's not that we all instantly unlock the secrets to the universe the way we may think, because to be honest, I also feel that once we get over there, there's a whole next level of things we don't know again, kind of like now when we don't know about the afterlife. I'm really not convinced, based on what spirit and people have shown me over my 17 years of practicing psychic readings, like, 10, 20 times a week. I do get the feeling that what they're trying to share is that there's always a next level, that there potentially is always a next level. So we don't just unlock every secret to everything in the universe. But one thing that the life review does is that unlocks our awareness of every little bit of impact we've made on others, we unlock and are given the keys to the kingdom of our own lives. Kind of like that. What was that book, Five People You Meet in Heaven? I don't know the book through and through, but I remember that really striking a chord for me because that's the way Spirit has shown me. So the life review, it's like our wisdom when we get on the other side and we're talking about our wisdom that we have, it's because we receive the full story of everything we ever had anything to do with. And so when I'm tuning into Lizzie, when I'm tuning into him, I'll read your comments here in just a second because my eyes are horrible. I have to zoom in. But when I tune in upon his life review, he not only got to saw how you influenced him, but how he influenced you. And there's definitely this like soulmate nod of, I see now most fully the dynamic of our love for each other. And it doesn't have to be a love that restricts from, your life today, or a love that limits the amount of love you can give to others, because you did move on a different path. But there's this acknowledgement. It's almost like I got to know all of your thoughts about me, and I definitely know all my thoughts about you. And there was a lot of love there. And so he's speaking to you. He's speaking to you when it comes to that. Let me see what else we have here. Not thought of him for years. Yeah, you know what, Lizzie? You said I was just very selfish and we were just on different paths in our lives. It's maybe not even that you were selfish. Maybe just that time frame in your life did not allow you an opportunity, and that's okay. We meet soulmates at all sorts of different times in our lives, and many times we meet soulmates when we're very, very young or when we're technically unavailable. Like how many of you guys, I'm sure you relate to like knowing soulmates when you're young, and like your young self is just this little tiny bit of your consciousness. Like it is definitely not the most wise version of yourself. So to think that your past self and all of its limitations can be held accountable for the way things panned out, that doesn't quite make sense. Your soulmates know who you are, and so the love is there regardless of what went down. Okay, so I'm going to leave that at that. Okay, let's go over to Instagram for the next one, and then I'll pop back over for you and your question, Christine. Okay, so Instagram, Lisa says, hey, my friend, if you get some time for me, curious if anything pops up in my timeline that stands out. Yeah, let me just see if I can get some sort of message for you, Lisa. Hang on. I'm automatically hearing in my ears a number of different songs. I don't know if you find peace in song, like music, but I just heard like 3 songs. Let me see if I can, they all flash through. I heard everything is gonna be all right. Everything is gonna be all right. And then I also heard everything's gonna be all right. And then there was another one. All right now, baby, it's all right now, which may have different meanings, but obviously the thread that's moving through these 3 little musical chords is that everything is all right. It's not that everything is all right, but it's a feeling as if someone on the other side is comforting you. Is your mother still alive, Lisa? I feel a lot of motherly energy around you, a lot of motherly love. I also wonder if I get the sense that whether your mom's alive or not, she wasn't the most obvious support because of her own limitations, but there really is a lot of love there. I'm wondering, can you fill me in on that? Yes, but it could be your grandmother. Yeah. It could be. It is the grandmother that you've passed that you get a sense of right now. Is it your mom's mom by any chance? Because I do sense I sense like some detail that is more it is mother's mother. Okay. I don't want to get personal with you if you don't want, but I'm wondering what your relationship with your mother is, because the thing I'm tuning into is your relationship with your mother. And if your mother's mother is on the other side talking about your relationship with your mother, she's probably doing the thing that a lot of people on the other side do, which is like try to, bring things together a little bit more like better and soundly. So, anyways, your grandmother may be saying, I love you both. I want you both to be happy. I want you both to be loving each other and all those things. Sometimes that message comes when you're having a hard time with someone. Sometimes it comes just because they love you both and that's what they have to say. Um, but everything's going to be all right is like a comforting message from like a motherly place, or I guess a grandmotherly place. Everything's going to be all right. It's not a blanket statement to dismiss any of the challenges. It's just more of a comfort message that says when all is said and done, the inventory is taken of everything, everything's going to be all right. Let me see if I have anything beyond that. Hold on. I just heard some of your health issues are on the mend, and I don't know if you're just going to be able to snap your fingers and get rid of anything, but I do feel that your body is healing quicker than it is declining, whether that's a state of right now or a state of being. It feels like your body is strong enough to withstand the challenges, whatever that means. Okay. I also feel the energy of your children, right? They are going to fulfill your life and your heart for the rest of the time you're on this planet. I love that for you. Good. You are so welcome, love. 3 girls. They're just the constant in your life. You're going to live a full, happy life. And your joy will come from those kids. It is not something that is going to run out. It is absolutely available for you for the rest of your life. I love that. Okay, going back over to YouTube, Christine says, I've been researching grounding. Have been thinking about ordering the grounding mat. Interesting that the grounding card came up today. What do you get? What do you get on this grounding technique for health? When it comes to the mats and stuff, I think they are great. But what you got to understand about grounding is that it's science. Whoa, science! It's science. What happens? How does lightning work? Right? It's electricity. And when it hits the ground, it neutralizes that electricity, right? Um, I know from personal experience that when I am absolutely in a state of like a lot of electricity, hey, Sloan, welcome. So, like, let's say I went to this camping trip and I was speaking at a retreat, and I did this like 4-hour session where I did like 50 readings in 4 hours, like all back to back. Basically, I was reading people's auras and teaching them how to do auras. So I was tuning into their auras, telling them a little bit of information, moving on to the next person. I literally had 50 people in 4 hours, all in front of me. So it wasn't even virtual. It was like all in front of me. So I'm soaking in their energy and all that. And then after that time, and other things can do it too, but this is just my experience. After being very psychic for a long time, the electricity that's moving in my body it's like in excess. It's in excess. I'm completely over my limit of what this container electricity wise is able to digest. So what did I do? What is grounding? I went into a tent and I moved everything away. And I had just the layer of the tent underneath me and then the ground, the actual dirt ground. And I laid there for like an hour and a half, just in my tent, not on my mattress, not on my anything, just on the ground. And why do I do that for grounding? Because if you imagine grounding just like a lightning bolt grounds energy, that's what we need for our body. So when people say take off your shoes and put your feet in the ground, it's not just some woo-woo idea. We're talking about the basics of electricity. We're talking about the basics of like just the scientific perspective of grounding. So when you think of grounding, and I like to say this as a blanket statement Don't get me wrong, hear me out. When it comes to a lot of these spiritual and psychic concepts, at face value, without any prior knowledge, you might think that it's just a nice spiritual woo-woo idea. But when you really dig deeper, you realize there's so much that is actually science, okay? Like, have you ever looked at the science of crystals and why the atomic structure of a crystal is so predictable that it's perfect versus everything else's atomic structure? And then what's the quality of a crystal? The quality of a crystal is that it sort of sings the same song all the time and helps us a certain way, as if it's a recording that will play the same every single time. Everything else in our life, this cup, myself, this wall, everything else is fluctuating in its atomic structure. And so the song it sings is very different. So that is the nature of a crystal and why we use crystals for healing. They are perfection, like almost like tuning a guitar. That's what a crystal does, because it's all about vibration, right? The movement and the push of the energy based on the vibration of the atoms. So I know crystals sound like a very nice woo-woo idea, and grounding sounds like a nice woo-woo idea, but really all of these things are based in science, because spirit and science are actually the same thing. We'll begin to know that more fully and more and more. So yeah, do I think that these grounding mats are actually, useful? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I think that anybody who comes up with the technology for grounding electricity out of your body, whether it be a mat that has crystals in it or a mat that has magnets in it or whatever. Yeah. Do I think those tools are legitimate? Yeah. Sometimes they're subtle, but they are absolutely 100% legitimate in my, it's science. It's the grounding of electricity. And when can you use those? When you're feeling overwhelmed and anxious, right? When you're running extra energy, when you've expended yourself. Like I expend myself psychically all the time because I know right where my limit is, and I always go right up to it, and then I know that it's time to disconnect and relax. But I don't go over my limit very often because I'm very familiar with what my limit is. But I'll expend all my energy and then go into rest, and that is often my strategy. And so I need these tools for grounding. So thank you for your question, Christine. Yes, grounding is a science, and anybody who's hitting the science by a simple lay on the ground in the grass or with a mat of some kind, they're absolutely adhering to the science of that. Yeah, had to put your feet in the earth in winter. With the had to put your feet in the earth in the winter, or with the red ants in Florida. That's funny. Hard. Oh yeah, hard to put your feet in the earth in the winter. Yeah, but you can ground electrically without going right into the dirt. Like I said, when I was camping, it was just a layer of a tent, but you can also just do your floor in your house. It doesn't have to be that you're touching the exact ground, but think about just how to ground the energy into the earth. And if you go down to your lower floor even and lay on, your floor, that is actually more helpful than not. So anyways, just throwing that out there. So yes, Medium Sloan. You guys, if you haven't met Medium Sloan, go follow her on Instagram. She is a delightful human being in person and is an excellent psychic medium. She does a lot of the same stuff I do. Go check her out. Oh, hey, Bloom Readings is here too. Speaking of other readers, I think Bloom Readings is also a psychic too. Go check them out. But yes, we are electrical beings, absolutely. And that is a big deal. Big deal. So with our card grounding and taking action, it's time to take action on our grounding and ground before we take action again. So I hope that helps. I did open up the conversation for questions if you guys have questions you want to ask me today. But okay, we got one more here from Rashana. Okay. I did have a question. When will I move to LA? When will I move to LA? All right, hang on one sec. Let me see what I can get about that. The thing I like about tuning into you in LA is that the door is kind of always open. I don't see you fluctuating on the desire very much. I can tell this desire has been here for a hot minute. And even when the timing doesn't line up, it's like it remains a constant desire. So that really opens up the timelines and probabilities. I see you seriously considering doing it soon, but the soonest I actually feel is like a July. I could be wrong, but the thing is it's not really about wrong or right. It's really about the probabilities and possibilities and the right things lining up. So when I tune into the most advantageous time frame, which means that the flow would sweep you up and kind of move you in that direction, I'm feeling in the summer is where in particular I'm being guided. That would be the easiest time frame to feel the flow and go. But because this also is coming in the way, shape, or form that it's saying this will always be on the agenda to do if we haven't done it yet, I don't really feel like the door closes on this. I don't even really feel like the door is closed now. I feel like the door is open when you're ready to walk through it. But there does seem to be some momentum in the month of July for me, some momentum that moves you forward. I'm also getting a hit about work. Like you may have to prioritize also settling in to what type of work you'll do or what type of experience you'll have when it comes to a career or what you're doing with your time. So there is a little bit of an element to that. But I'm also hearing that that's going to work out just fine when the right timing happens. I sense July for whatever reason. Okay. And again, it doesn't have to be that I'm right or wrong. Like you have to do what I say. It's more, again, about possibilities and probabilities. So the probabilities are that time frame for me. And the possibilities are wide open whenever, not like the door shuts. Okay. But that's where I see the time frame being most advantageous. Okay. And again, if you want to go sooner, you can. If you need to go later, you can. So it's not really a limitation. Um, it's more about the timing of things sort of sweeping you up and happening a little bit more for you. Hi there. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Question wise, going to YouTube real quick. I had a dream about a baby. This is AF Pulley. I had a dream about a baby girl, and when I close my eyes, sometimes I see her. Would you be able to tell me more, please? Absolutely. I don't know how old you are or how many, if you have kids. Okay, not to get weird, but okay, I'm going to get weird. You guys ready? We are much more than this lifetime. We are much more than this timeline. Our spirit exists in many different shapes and forms of our own self and our own life. Sometimes when we see a sweet face of a little angel baby, we are receiving a message about someone coming into our life as a future child. Other times, I think that that is an absolute wide open possibility. But sometimes I do, at the end of the day, talk to people who saw a sweet little angel baby face and they didn't end up having a child. And why would that be? I believe we have adjacent lifetimes and expressions of ourselves. I believe that there are many truths to that movie. Okay. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Did you guys see that movie? If you haven't, it's a little weird, but it'll blow your mind. I do believe we exist in many different ways. A lot of times, if we have a soulmate who's joined us in one timeline and they've made such an impact, like a child would, a sweet little baby angel face would, and you have the psychic eyes to see and hear. Here's the thing, you guys. Here's the tricky thing. We're not just talking about normal scenarios anymore. Once you are intuitively aligned and you have the psychic eyes to see and the psychic ears to hear and the psychic feels to feel, you will sense beyond this life. You will sense whatever we think of the afterlife as being. You will sense the time before your life. You will sense different lives. You will sense different planets sometimes, okay, like different expressions, different dimensions. You will open up. There'll be more information than you have the capacity for within this construct. And so I actually think that you have a divine soulmate, and that in a lot of adjacent timelines, that is your baby and that's what she looks like. I actually think that this child belongs to you somewhere in time. But here, it's unclear whether, because the truth is the constant. This is a soulmate energy. Knowing how it's going to fall here is based on probabilities and possibilities, right? And so I'm not quite sure where that's at. I would need to maybe talk to you more and like tune in. But I will tell you that this is an actual spirit who's actually with you. And if you don't have physical children here, but you've always worked with children, I guarantee other versions of yourself have children. And if they had a beautiful soulmate child and that love went beyond that lifetime, it's probably pouring into yours. That's the sense I get. Okay. All right. Let's see what else we have here. Okay. Leela, I'm in Phoenix, so it's a little easier for me here. And I use, oh yeah, with the winter to put your feet on the earth. Yep. Okay. Someone from Instagram here. Leaka or Leah, California. I don't know. Question. I'm wondering about selling my home in Arizona. Is it a good time for me or should I wait? Hey, would you mind terribly giving me the number of your house? The number of your house? Like my address here in Florida is, what is it? 6799 blank or whatever. Would you mind giving me the number of your house? That'll help me tune into it. And you're wondering about selling your house in Arizona. Is it a good time or should I wait? 9731. Okay, hold on. I'm hearing wait, but not very long. I'm hearing instead of starting the process now, I'm almost feeling like March or April. It's not very long. Generally, yes, this is the right time frame. Is this the very right moment to take the next step? I think you're already feeling potential pressure around doing it because it's like, oh, I need to do this. And it's whatever reason, it's not just like sweeping you up. You see, sometimes you guys with the momentum of things, when it comes to timelines, possibilities and probabilities, I always say this is what makes a timeline reading. There are no absolutes until you choose. Okay. But probabilities has to do with really what is the nature of the construct of the question? And then that's probabilities. And then possibilities are what doors are open, and what doors are closed, right? So probabilities means that I can sense that come April and March and into those March and April and into that very next time frame, I sense the momentum would move faster, quicker, easier than it is this month or in the month of February. Generally, if you're asking, is this a good time to sell? I'm going to say that the changes in the market, they're telling me, are not going to fluctuate enough for some plan B later on down the road to be the obvious better answer. It seems like everything's kind of steady in the time frame in which you're really considering making a move. So I don't think you really need to wait for anything market wise. But I do sense, for whatever reason, March and April and into those months are better months for the energy just sort of scooping you up and taking you along. And it kind of feels like maybe resistance in the past few months or in the past year that you've been thinking about it or whatever. And it feels like when there's a little bit of like, oh, I know I should, but it's just, it's like a divine timing kind of thing. So the probabilities are that the energy moves a lot faster. Possibilities, is the door closed? No, I think you could like jam it open if you needed to, but why jam it open when it's going to just open on its own in a month or two? So anyways, that's the timing I'm getting. So overall, is it a good time? Yes. Specifically to these particular months? No, I'd wait a couple months. okay, to start your process. And again, the reason why is because I don't sense a big change in the market within the time frame you're considering the move. So it's like no time is really better than the others, except for just the ease and comfort of your motivation and your energy levels and your focus and all of that. Okay, Bloom reading. Hey, okay, is there something else I should do for my career? Okay, let me see what I sense around you. Would you mind? I hate to ask you this because I know you have you're welcome. I know you have another name listed, but is there any way I could ask you Bloom readings for your first name? Can I ask for your first name so I can tune into you? Gosh, I also sense like a lot of boutique energy around you, like fashion or products or like boutique energy. You may or may not resonate with that, but girl, Molly. Okay, hang on a sec. You're very creative, Molly. You've really got a sense of creativity around you. It's like when you create things, I also get the sense that you're also good at and again, maybe I'm wrong in this. I'm a future predictor. So if you don't feel this way today, maybe in a year you'll know what I'm talking about. So I apologize if it doesn't resonate today, but we are talking about the future. So let's go. Okay. Um, I feel that there's a lot of creativity around you. Like if you needed to build a website, you'd be able to do it. And maybe you're not like the best at it or whatever, but like you would be better than most people. You're very inclined to be an entrepreneur. And I know that's my favorite thing to pick up for people. So I'm going to try and like also take a moment to sit back and see if there's something else. But there's part of you, there's part of you that just really, really is well suited for creativity, creative expression, and monetizing that. But hold on a second. I do feel that there's other things you could do to serve and be passionate about. I feel like there's a couple other ideas that if you pursued something more standard, not entrepreneurial, you could. But here's the message I'm getting for you, Molly. Word for word, everything's fine. Take your shot. Everything's fine. Take your shot. So I know if there is any conflict of, is my current path enough to support me, or these kinds of questions, I know you can worry. Anybody would say, is this all right? Is this okay? Is this going to work? Am I all right? And I just keep hearing that the desires you have in your heart to create or to share more on like a entrepreneurial path, you would never be whole and complete unless you pursued them. You have to, like, everything's fine. Take your shot. If you really, truly, honestly feel that you've taken your shot and you are done, that's one thing, but I don't feel you're there. I feel like Spirit is telling you that all the lives that we live, there's always time to pursue a dream, whether it's going to success or fail. Okay. And I'm not saying one or the other for you. I'm just saying, like, Spirit suggests that they're in alignment with you taking a real shot. And they're saying everything's going to be okay while you do that. I hope that answers your question. Feel free to give me a follow-up question if you need me to context any of that a little better. Okay, let's see. Sloan, I'm going to an inspection on my house today. Any insight or things to look out for? The house is 538. Okay. Is it one story or two, Sloan? One story or two? Or maybe two story, maybe it's on the second floor or something. I'm feeling like I don't know if the house is like it's one story. Okay, good. What was it? 538. I'm getting a real super free and clear kind of message. As far as things that you need to pay attention to, it feels pretty good. I think that if there are any experts brought in to look at certain things, like they have someone who's looked at the foundation or the house, I also feel that's very trustworthy. I really don't sense any red flags here. The walls would love some paint, but that's just cosmetic. I'm getting a real free and clear, nothing to worry about. Everything's pretty good here. I don't think you need to stress about this. If you trust that the energy is good, go with it. Because you could spend all this time inspecting everything, or you could just trust what you get, and you know how to do that. But actually, I don't sense any red flags here. There's an attic. Okay, let me tune into the attic. Hold on. If you want to use the attic as like a functioning space, make sure you're looking at the walls or reinforcing some of it, or just getting a word about that. But honestly, it's more like a how-to than it is like a an issue, like how to use the space within the construct of its support. I don't know. It doesn't even feel like an attic is really something like you need to use or anything for other than just store. I just really don't sense any red flags at all. I think this is actually something that if it feels good, you can totally trust and go with that. I do sense a few, like I said, experts getting involved with like the different like surveying. And I also get the sense that that's trustworthy too. So this really feels like a no hassle situation. I know you should probably get a hit when you get there. And feel free to use my hit also to weigh in on the fact that I think it's going to feel real easy and simple. And sometimes it is. That's what it feels like. Good. Okay, Bloom Dream says, yes, helpful. I do feel creative and understand what you're saying. I guess I'm wondering if there's something I should be working at as a spiritual career to expand and grow. Well, it seems like maybe by your name of Bloom Readings, and I think I remember going onto your account. I remembered that you did do readings. And so when you said something else for a career, I was thinking like something else if you were thinking about that. But no, your spiritual career is like, if you're doing readings or your spiritual career, that's the same creative energy. I mean, I also think that maybe expanding what you're doing to have more offerings that aren't just services, but are also product based. That could be something that I was like picking up a vibe about, because I can sense like some things like being in your wheelhouse as well. But no, this is what I'm saying. Like spirit is like, everything's okay. Take your shot. As long as it takes, as much support as it needs, take your shot. Like the world and the universe is going to remain on hold so that you can take a deep breath, point that arrow, and give it your shot. And giving it your shot is a long time for a certain amount of energy that you're expending until you truly feel as if you're done. If you do, then you can stop. But no, I absolutely feel that for you. Sloan says, I think calling an expert may be needed. Yeah, I got that. Here's what I'll say, Sloan. When you asked the question and you said any insider things to look out for, I immediately thought if you were to look around or to try and get insight, it's almost like I don't sense there's anything that you would know or that you would pick up or that you would need. But when the experts survey something, I feel that you can trust that. And if you feel good, you can trust it. And then it's overall like not some underlining issue that is going to be secret or unknown. Like the shoe's going to drop. I didn't sense that. I sensed everything was on the up and up. So yeah, let's see what happens. Please let me know. If you need any more support with that, let me know too. But the energy feels good. It feels like everything you need to know is just right there at face value. And it feels revealed to me. Okay. Doesn't feel like there's anything kept from you. Okay. Cool. So that is, I think, where we're going to wrap up today. Thank you so much, YouTube, for sharing this energy and space with Instagram. Instagram loves us too. Thank you so much for being here and allowing me to serve you a little longer today. We'll do this periodically, hopefully, and get a chance to tune into your intuition and, with the help of mine, get you some answers that you need. I love you guys on YouTube. I'll see you tomorrow at the same time. Instagram, we just might go live tomorrow at the same time doing the same thing again. This is Good Morning Intuition, where we get it's kind of like a circuit training for your intuition, prompts and exercises and guides to help you tune into your intuition. And then maybe I can start staying on a little while after, a little more often. So we'll see all of you guys tomorrow. Lots of love.